My name is Rachel. I have something heavy in my heart, something I have kept inside for too long. Before you judge me, please listen to my story. I never thought I would find myself in this kind of situation. I still don't understand how everything in my life changed so fast. It is a memory that has followed me for years, a memory of something my husband made me do. It changed my life forever. It all started a few years ago. My husband, John, and I had been married for almost 10 years. Like most couples, we had good days and bad days, but I never thought we would reach this point. John was once a loving man, but as time passed, something changed. He became different, distant, cold, and controlling. He didn't hold me the way he used to. He didn't smile at me the way he used to. I tried to tell myself it was because of work, that he was just stressed. But deep inside, I knew something was very wrong. One evening, John came home from work with a strange look in his eyes. He was smiling, but it wasn't the kind of smile that made me feel safe. It was something else. After dinner, I was about to clear the dishes when he told me to sit down. His voice was serious. My heart started beating fast. I knew something was coming, something I wouldn't like. I've been thinking, he said, avoiding my eyes. There's something I need to tell you. I nodded, waiting for him to continue. But what he said next made my whole body go cold. I want us to try something new, he said. I've been feeling bored. I think it's time we did something different. At first, I thought he was talking about going on a trip or maybe getting counseling to help our marriage. But I was wrong. I've arranged for us to meet 2 men, he said. They are coming over this weekend. I stared at him, not understanding. My heart started pounding harder. What do you mean, 2 men? I asked in a whisper. They're my friends, he said casually, like it was nothing. We're going to spend the night together. I froze. My hands shook. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. This was not my husband. This was not the man I loved. He was talking about bringing strangers into our home, into our marriage, as if it was normal. My stomach twisted. I felt sick. But more than that, I felt betrayed. John, are you out of your mind? I finally said, my voice shaking with anger and pain. This isn't us. Why would you? Before I could finish, he cut me off. Rachel, this is happening, he said, his voice firm. You need to understand. It's something I want. Something we need. I couldn't believe my ears. I loved John, but I didn't understand why he was doing this. Why was he pushing me into something so painful, something that would break everything we had built together? I told him no. I thought that would be the end of it. I thought he would realize his mistake and stop. But I was wrong. For the next few days, John barely spoke to me. When he did, it was only about the plan. He started coming home late, and when I asked where he had been, he gave short answers. The love in our house had disappeared. Now, there was only silence, painful, suffocating silence. By Friday, I felt like I was drowning. The meeting was happening, no matter what I said. I thought about leaving, about packing my bags and walking out of the door. But I didn't. A part of me still held on to hope, still held on to the man I thought I knew. Saturday evening came too fast. At exactly 8 p.m., the 2 men arrived. I sat on the couch, my hands shaking, trying not to cry. I didn't even know the names. But now they were sitting in my living room, laughing. With my husband like old friends. The air felt heavy. I could feel them looking at me. I wanted to run. I wanted to scream. But my body wouldn't move. Then, John leaned towards me, placing his hand on my knee. Rachel, it's time, he whispered. I froze. My mind screamed at me to get up and leave, but my legs wouldn't listen. His hand on my knee felt like a heavy stone, holding me down. Rachel, please, he said again, softer this time. There was something in his voice. Not just control, but desperation. I saw it in his eyes. This wasn't just about some fantasy. This was about power. I took a deep breath. I can't do this, John, I whispered. This isn't love. He sighed and sat back, rubbing his temples. His face looked tired. You think I want this? He muttered. I'm doing this for us, Rachel. No, you're not, I said, my voice stronger this time. You're doing this for you. You've changed, John. This is about control, not love. For a moment, I thought I saw guilt in his eyes. But then, it was gone. He clenched his jaw and started pacing the room like a lost man. One of the men, let's call him Marcus, cleared his throat. If this isn't happening, we should probably leave, he said. I looked at him. He wasn't what I expected. He didn't look cruel. He looked normal. That made it even more confusing. I didn't want to stay. I didn't want to be part of this. But my heart was torn, between the past and the present, between love and betrayal. Then John spoke again. His voice was quiet, but firm. Rachel, if you leave, we're done. His words hit me like a knife to my chest. I looked at him, my heart breaking. I've given you everything, he continued. I've loved you, cared for you. And now, I'm asking for one thing in return. I stood up, my legs shaking. This isn't love, John, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. This is manipulation. His eyes darkened with anger. But I didn't care anymore. I turned and walked to the door. I expected him to grab me, to yell, to stop me. But he didn't. Instead, he muttered under his breath, "You'll regret this." Maybe I would. Maybe leaving was a mistake. But I had to go. As I stepped outside, the cool night air hit my face. I felt something strange, a mix of relief and pain. I didn't know where to go. I just walked. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe.